the first episode of AJL Sports Talks. Today we're going to be covering our first topic. It's going to be just a list of teams, as you can see up on the screen. It's a list of players. We're just going to go through who you think is going to get the most points. So that's points, not goals and assists. They're all the same. And then for the goalies, it's wins. So I guess we can start off here with box one. I got my partner Jared here.
Hello, how's it going, everybody?
Yeah. So we got box one here, as you can see up on the screen. We're just going to discuss who we think is going to be the best out of these. I don't know, maybe this guy will help you guys with fantasy and stuff, but we're going to start.
My question is, do we even have to discuss the first box?
Not really. As you can see here, we got Panarin, McDavid, McKinnon, Crosby, and Kane. It's not that difficult. The only thing you can consider is injuries, but it's pretty obvious one to me. I don't know if you have any thoughts, but
I'm definitely saying Crosby for sure.
Crosby, yeah. That's not a bad option. I think he's going to be really good this year, but I don't think he can choose McDavid.
Is pretty good though.
Yeah, they're all good. No, but Crosby's going to have a good year. He might be top five for the Hart, I think, but still going to go with McDavid just because he's already got a hat trick under his belt this season.
Points more than anything else. So.
Yeah, exactly. It's only points. They're weighted the same as goals and assists. So we're going to pick out McDavid here. If you guys have any thoughts, let us know in the comments. So I guess just quickly moving on here to box two, we've got Alex Ovechkin, Matthews, Malkin, Draisaitl, and Steven Stamkos. Again, there's a little bit of discussion here. I don't know if you want to start us off here.
Well, I think it starts with Leon Draisaitl. When the Art Ross last year was a decent season, and more points than McDavid, and he's in box two. So I think that's where the discussion starts with, at least.
Yeah, definitely. To me, I'm ruling out Steven Stamkos from this one right away. Matthews, I think you could put in the discussion, except this is like goals and assists are weighted the same. So I think we take him out here because he's more of a goal scorer. So if it was goals, I'd consider it, but going to take him out.
Malkin's been very injury prone over the last few years anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
And especially Stamkos, especially.
Stamkos
he had a great season last year when he got hurt.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so I think for us, it was really between Draisaitl and Ovechkin. Ovechkin did put up a lot of points last year, but I think we were leaning towards Draisaitl just because he did win the Hart.
It's kind of hard to not pick the guy who's going to, first of all, not power play too with McDavid. He has to play power play minutes with McDavid.
Yeah,
and
you can't really.
It's also Draisaitl. He had how many points last year? He had a lot of points last year.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, we're gonna go with Draisaitl on this one. It's these first couple of boxes, there wasn't much debate for us, but once we get into the later ones here, it does get a little bit more close, depending on how you want to look at it. But box three here, we'll just go over really quickly for us. This one was pretty easy. We got Brad Marchand, Jack Eichel, Jonathan Huberdeau, Mark Scheifele, and Sebastian Aho. So we just really ruled out Marchand because he's already injured, and Aho pretty quickly, just because they're both really good players, but they don't really compare. Yeah, for sure.
It's Jack Eichel, and he's got Taylor Hall on his wing now, so
yeah, absolutely.
I think that's a pretty good decision there.
Yeah, I'm definitely going Jack Eichel as well. We decided on that one pretty quickly, so we're just going to move on here. Box four, got Blake Wheeler, Elias Pettersson, Johnny Gaudreau, Mika Zibanejad, and Mitch Marner. Again, this one was a little bit of a debate, but not really. Elias Pettersson, for me, really stood out just because last year he really looked like a really elite player, and he's only going to get better. So as long as there's no injuries,
this is his third season, right? This is going to be his third season, right? Yeah, and he was great last year.
Yeah, he's like, 21, 22? So he's getting into his
still
prime.
Really young. He's on the way up. For sure. I think the way he played last year was good, and he was close to a point per game last year, and I think he's just going to explode this season. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, so we'll just move on quickly because, again, not much of a debate on that one. This one, we did have a little bit of a tough time. We got Barkov, Point, Tavares, Patrick Laine, my bad, and Max Pacioretty. We ruled out Tavares right away just because, he didn't really put up any points last year, and I think he's playing on a second line on a Leafs team that doesn't have much firepower on that line. We were wondering if Patrick Laine is probably going to have a good season, but again, it was really between Braden Point and Barkov.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to rule out Max Pacioretty. He's been a great player, and he's playing with Mark Stone, but I don't see him being this high up in the list kind of guy.
Yeah, for sure. And then between Point and Barkov, it was really it was kind of tough, but I just think
Braden Point's been kind of Brandon Point's been kind of coming on strong the last few years. He's been phenomenal, but yeah, I think it has to be Barkov. He's going to be more relied on offensively than Brandon Point will.
Yeah, for sure. He's going to be he'll probably get more chances on the ice and stuff. So I just think that he'll be able to score a few more goals. He's also playing with Huberdeau, so that's a big factor there as well. So we'll just move on quickly here. Box 6. We got JT Miller, Kyle Connor, Mikko Rantanen, Ryan O'Reilly, and Teuvo Teravainen. This one was pretty easy for us. We basically just narrowed it down to Kyle
You're
Connor.
a pretty big Rantanen fan, aren't you?
Yeah, I love Rantanen personally. I know his defense isn't that great, but again, we're just focusing on points here.
His first points here. Puts up big points.
So really can't go wrong with that. Yager. Exactly. Yeah, maybe not as good as Yager. Yager's a legend, but yeah. So we picked Mikko Rantanen pretty quickly on this one. Yeah, though Kyle Connor is a really good option as well, but we went with Rantanen. So this next one, this one actually we did debate pretty heavily, but again, so we got Svechnikov, Kuznetsov, Stone, Tkachuk, and Couturier. So we debated this one for a while, but it really came down to Stone and Svechnikov. I don't know.
Especially because it's kind of Couturier is a good option. Tkachuk as well. Couturier is a tough one to pick, though. I think in this box, just because of the division he's in, it's an absolute cog show of a division. They're going to be beating up on each other all season long. But
for sure.
But Svechnikov and Stone have a lot easier divisions probably as well.
Svechnikov for sure.
In the North Division in Canada, that's going to be a lot of goals, I think. But I still think I personally think it's got to be Svechnikov here. He's a guy. You talk about a player on the rise. He's only in his third season, and he had exploded last year, and he can only get better this year, I think.
Yeah, for sure. We were looking at it. He's got quite a few points. He already was at around 60 points last year, so you got to think it's just going to get better from there. There was assists, goals, so he's pretty much hands down pick here. Though Stone is not a bad pick either. But we'll just move on here. Box 8.
This might have been the one we debated the most.
Yeah, this one we had to come back to actually because we couldn't decide. There's a few options here that were really good. So Jake Gensel is obviously a really good option. He plays with Crosby and everything, but he is a little bit more
injury prone here.
Yeah, because if him or Crosby go down, he's not really going to be a factor. So that's really there's two guys there that could get injured. So you don't really want to have to.
And when we say not going to be a factor, we're just mean in comparison to the rest of them.
Yeah. he's still going to be good. He's still a really good player, but it's just he won't be as big a factor if one of them goes down. So then we got Backstrom, Barzal, Konechny, and Nylander. Yeah, of course. So we rolled out Konechny right away. Just I don't think he compares to any of the guys in here. And then between Backstrom and Nylander, I think soon he might, but he's just not as good as any of these guys yet. But we got Backstrom and Nylander here. I think Nylander's a really underrated player on the Leafs. He's one of the higher point scorers, even though he's on the second line most of the time, and they got some of the bigger guys there. And then Backstrom obviously plays with Ovechkin, so it's always a good pick. But I think we ended up going with Barzal on this one.
Yeah, I think that one makes sense. I think he's going to have a great season. It's his first season on this contract, and he may have arrived to camp late, but he's already scored a nice goal last night. And it's an Islanders team that has a heavy defensive system, but he's allowed to do basically whatever he wants offensively. So
so any offensive zone situation. Yeah, exactly.
Meanwhile, someone like Nylander is probably not even on the first power play in it to start the season. So
yeah, he'll still put up the points, but I just think Barzal's gonna have more opportunity to succeed. Also, he's getting better still. It's only his second or third year in the NHL, so obviously going to get a lot better here. So let's move on here. In the next box here, we got Kopitar, Pasternak, Perron, Nugent Hopkins, and Thomas Tatar.
Tatar.
Of course, yeah. So I don't even remember who we picked on this one. This one was tough. We really want to choose between Nugent Hopkins.
Well, David Pasternak just because he was hurt.
Yeah. David Pasternak would be a no-brainer, but he's out for a couple of months, I believe, with surgery.
He says to start the season, unfortunately, it's going to be easy. Like Kopitar playing in LA, it's just LA. They're not that good. He's a phenomenal player.
Yeah, obviously he's a 2-time Cup champ, but they're just not that great the team, so he doesn't have as much of an opportunity to succeed. So I think we chose Nugent Hopkins on this one.
I think Nugent Hopkins was the good pick there because just he's on the
he's going to be playing with McDavid or Draisaitl or both, so really can't not choose that one there. So just decided to go with that one. Obviously, we could go more in depth on these, but we're just trying to speed through it a little bit here. So we're moving on here. Box 10. We got Dylan Larkin, Elias Lindholm, Mike Hoffman, Patrice Bergeron, and Ryan Strome.
This one was another one we had a lot of debate on this one.
Yeah, right away,
though. Ryan
Strome's
had a very nice season last year, but he's going to have some good wingers. The Rangers have a lot of good wingers, but he's not as sure of a bet as some of the other guys, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So we also had Larkin and Lindholm. We kind of ruled out Lindholm just because of the division that he's in. Lindholm, again, he's a good player. Yeah, it's just not like it's a pretty stacked division.
It's kind of hard to pick a Detroit player at this point.
Yeah. They're the first game they got 14 shots. He's not going to get much offensive opportunities. So I think we just ruled him out.
And it's not going to be his fault either.
Yeah, Ryan Strome, we just ruled out as well, just because he hasn't had that many great seasons to really prove that he's better than any of the other three. Then it was really between Hoffman and Bergeron for us. I think we just went with Bergeron because he's a good player. He's a really good player. Yeah, he's more of a two-way guy, but he's on the power play. And once Marchand and Pasternak come back, that's one of the best first lines in the league. So you can't really go wrong with that choice. No, well, you could if he gets hurt, but hopefully we can't go wrong with it. Yeah, so the next box here we got.
This one was the easiest pick I think we've ever had.
Yeah, this one seemed like it was a little bit flawed. Yeah, I'll read them off here, but we have Shen, Giroux, Ehlers, Smith, and Hall. The only real debate we had was Giroux and Hall, but I think just Hall's playing with Eichel. He can't really. As long as he's playing with Eichel,
he's going to put points on his own in New Jersey. He won the Hart Trophy with 93 points. Like this is now he's
obviously
one of the best centermen in the league to play with now. So
obviously it might not translate, but obviously you got to take a chance on that one. It's Jack Eichel. He's just one of the best. But we'll just move on quickly because we made a pretty quick decision on that one. Box 12 here, we got Dadonov, Landeskog, Schwartz, Voracek, and Monahan. I don't even remember.
I think Landeskog was there. At least it was my first thought because he's probably playing with McKinnon first of all, and Colorado's just going to beat up on that division for the most part.
Definitely. Yeah, we ruled out Dadonov just because Ottawa's probably not going to be that strong this year. They got a lot of rookies, so it's pretty unpredictable. Schwartz, we ruled out. He's not really. I don't feel like he's the same as any of these other players. Voracek's a good player, but we didn't really think that he compared to the points that Landeskog could put up on that line with McKinnon and Rantanen, as you mentioned there. And then Monahan as well, same thing. Landeskog's just got more potential to put up points in Colorado.
Yeah, for sure.
So the next one here we got.
There's another debate one.
Yeah, this one was. We actually went with a weird one on this one, but I'll read them off here. So we went to DeBrincat, and we got Horvat, Nelson, Fiala, and Phil the Thrill Kessel.
As much as I want to pick Phil Kessel at Arizona, he doesn't have the best players to play with.
Yeah.
He's the first one. He's the first Arizona player listed, I believe. So there's no other Arizona.
It's not a very strong team there in Arizona. They were
not that much offense, but.
Yeah, they lost last year. Phil Kessel only put up around 30 points, which is a real drop off from his career norms. He put up 70 something.
If he was playing with Malkin again, he'd be the easy pick here. But
for sure. He has the potential, but he's not the guy. So you really got to have players to play with. And then from there, we ruled out DeBrincat. He's obviously a great goal scorer, but just that team is kind of depleted injury-wise.
They can't catch a break right now.
Yeah, for sure. We ruled out Brock Nelson just because he's a good player as well, but he's not as good as Horvat or Fiala in our
he's not a very defensive team with the Islanders.
Yeah, he's a two-way guy.
Not exactly Matthew Barzal either.
Yeah, exactly.
So for us, it's between Horvat and Fiala. Fiala was kind of almost under the radar, I'd say, with his production last year for sure. He put up he was a pretty solid producer last year, and
he put up about 50 or 60 points, I believe.
Yeah, and I think Horvat might be the best overall player in this box, but Kevin Fiala, he's probably the biggest risk as well. He could get anywhere from like 12 points to like 60 points, I'd say.
Yeah, he could totally regress from last year, but he had a really good season last year. His first year in Minnesota.
But he could also dominate at the same time.
Yeah, Minnesota, I think, also might be a little bit of an up-and-comer. They've got a weaker division, so that should give them an opportunity to maybe compete for a third or fourth spot maybe just squeak into the playoffs there. Where Horvat is good, but I don't think he's as much of an offensive threat. So we went with Fiala here, a little bit of a risk, but might pay off for you. And
We're here to be bold, right?
Any fantasy, yeah. I mean, he could be a waiver wire guy too. If fantasy's already started, you might be able to pick him up because he's under the radar for sure. So next one here, we got Dylan Strome, Logan Couture, Matt Duchesne, Philippe Danault, and Sam Reinhart. This one,
well, we're big Philippe Danault fans, but I just think with all the extra players they've added this year, he's not going to be getting as much of an offensive role this year.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's not that much of an offensive player to begin with, but
he puts up
some of the other guys on this list
every year. He's a consistent 50-point guy, but
some of the other guys on this list though have way
Reinhart's going to play on a pretty potent, or what should be a potent Buffalo team. It's hard to say they will be because it's Buffalo.
It's Buffalo. They always somehow find a way, but we'll see. Yeah, and then we also got Duchesne here. He had an off year last year, but career record 70-point guy, and some of the time 60 or 70. So I think we decided to go with him.
Yeah,
it was a tough one, but
it's too hard to pick San Jose or Chicago players right now.
That too. Yeah, Nashville should get a little better this year in theory, so decided to go with him on that one. Next one here, we got Brendan Gallagher, Brock Besser, Philippe Forsberg, Jonathan Marchessault, and Kyler, sorry. This one was also a little bit of a debate. You got Brendan Gallagher on the top.
Gallagher's probably, he's going to get you 30 goals. You know what he's going to bring every game. A 30-goal pace at least for an 80-game season, and probably around 50, 60 points, depending. I mean, if he's healthy at least.
Yeah.
You got Besser who's going to play with Patterson, so that's a pretty good pick right there, but he's also injury prone. Forsberg, he's a pretty solid player, but he's never the I wouldn't say the dominant offensive threat that he probably could be necessarily. And Marchessault, I don't know, I feel like he's a little bit on the decline at the moment. And
he's falling a little bit down in.
Moto's going to play with probably Draisaitl though, so that's an option there. But also, if he struggles a little bit, he's going to get demoted immediately, right? So.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's a little bit of a smaller guy too. I think we did end up going with Brock Besser here just because of he's playing with Pedersen. He's got that goal potential. He also had more assists than you would have thought last season. I don't remember the number, but he did have a notable number of assists last year. Just don't want to give it any wrong numbers. But so
moving on. Defenseman.
Yeah, the defenseman here, Brent Burns, John Carlson, the Norris winner from last year, Quinn Hughes.
Yossi won the Norris.
Oh yeah, my bad. I thought Carlson was in the top three though.
Led the points.
Confused him. Yeah, I thought he was going to win it, and then he didn't. And Victor Hedman, also a good defender there. Some pretty good offensive guys. But I think we did go with John Carlson. He had 75 points in not 75 games. So as a defenseman, you can't really top that.
Doesn't happen very much anymore.
Yeah, so for sure.
Cute and impressive to ignore.
Yeah. I mean, Quinn Hughes, while we did debate, he's probably going to have a really good season as well, but it just looks like John Carlson's poised for a better season. So we just went with that. So we'll
pretty safe
pretty quickly there. Yeah, you're not going to go wrong with that. Even if he has an off year, he'll probably still get you. It's a 56-game season, so at least 40 points. Hopefully, anyway. I don't know. But so that's what it seems like, especially after last year. So next we got Pietrangelo, Makar, Yandel, Tang, and Tony DeAngelo on the Rangers. So on this one, we didn't really debate too much. We just went Cale Makar.
He was great.
For sure. That was only his rookie year.
This year he's going to get better.
He won the Calder. Yeah, you can't really go wrong with that. There's no way. He's on a stacked offensive team in a pretty bad division. You could obviously go with Pietrangelo as well, but I think point-wise, Cale Makar, it's not close.
Yeah, Pietrangelo is the better all-around, but in terms of points,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's older too, so he just got that big payday.
This one was a huge debate. We really wanted to pick Neil Pionk, but
decided not to go with that one. Yeah, I mean, it was really, we got Heiskanen, Riley, Pionk, Shabbat, and Tyson Barrie in this one.
Barrie's on that Edmonton power play, but
but after last year, he didn't have that great a season. We did think about Riley just because 2 years ago he did put up 72 points in 82 games. But last year he was down to
too.
Yeah, he's good, but we were just thinking he's playing with rookies. It's pretty unpredictable there. So We really just wanted to go
But the
with.
way Heiskanen played in the playoffs last year was impressive.
Yeah.
Like,
He didn't.
he was about a point per game in the playoffs. Like, that's impressive.
which is on the big
And it
stage.
was
They
over
made it to
20
the finals. Yeah,
6 games, right? So
they were in the
That's-
finals and everything too.
a large part of
Yeah.
that was because of him too. So
So we're really betting on that.
A pretty easy decision.
Yeah, I'd say the safe bet might be Morgan Riley, but I think a longer shot to really put a lot of points up would be Miro Heiskanen in this group for sure.
Yeah.
We're just move on to goalies here.
So this one matters about wins more than anything else. So
Yeah, this is wins. So let me just read off the names here. We got Vasilevsky, Khudobin, Hellebuck, Anderson, and Binnington in this group.
as much as I want to say Khudobin because we're not going home.
He basically got him all the way to the finals by himself. Bishop was out the whole time, but you also got Connor Hellebuck. He won the Vezina last year. That's a good choice, but
that's
it's
a
Tampa Bay and
difficult
Vasilevsky.
division, right?
Yeah, for sure.
That's a easy decision. That's gonna be Vasilevsky.
Yeah, Tampa's just the best team in here, and it's wins. So Vasilevsky most likely gets the most wins. He did last year, so likely gets it again this year. The next one here, we got Carter Hart, Ilya Samsonov, Robin Lehner, Tristan Jarry, and Tuukka Rask.
We debated this one. This one's tough because 4 of them are in that grinder division of all great teams there with Philadelphia
in the East.
Boston. For us, it was really between Lehner and Hart. I mean, Hart's a phenomenal young goalie, right? And
he's only going to get better.
Mm-hmm. But he's also in a difficult division. However, Lehner, Vegas is going to win. Is going to be one of the top teams in their division for sure.
Yeah, definitely in the playoffs.
Yeah, but the question is, how many games is he going to actually play? With
if you got Fleury back there, if he has any off games, Fleury's obviously going to start. He could get hot. He's won the cup three times. He's been to the finals, like 3 or 4. So he's phenomenal as well. But we went with Carter Hart just because he's only going to get better, and that's a really good Philly team in front of him. As you saw down the stretch last year in the beginning of the playoffs and the end of the season before it abruptly ended. And then, we got the last box here, all Canadian division players here, all goalies. We got Holtby, Price, Markstrom, Murray, and Koskinen. Really, we ruled out Koskinen right away because
no offense. He's a solid goalie, but he's also, it's Edmonton. He's not going to play every game. They got Mike Smith.
Yeah, you got Smith back.
And
I know Oilers fans, you don't like him, but Oilers fans don't like that contract too much. But so we also ruled out Murray. He's a great goalie as well, 2-time Cup champion, but he's on that Ottawa team, really unpredictable. So we really narrowed it down here. Holtby might not play as much because they got Demko behind him. We narrowed it down to Markstrom and Price, and you got to go with the Price here, I think, just because he's got the hardware. No cup yet, but hopefully.
We'll see. Hopefully soon.
So and Montreal should be a little bit of a better team this year. So they should, I think, top 4 finish in the division at least. So Price will get some wins. He'll be a guaranteed starter.
Exactly. And he's the number 1 guy, outright.
Yeah. He's one of the best in the league for sure. Top 3 for sure. Could debate first, but save that for another time.
So those are our picks.
Yeah, those are our picks. So hopefully this helped you guys, and hope to see you back in another episode.